We got him. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got the wretched, godless, heathen creature. We've got him now. He was trying to escape. This soulless heathen. He has no respect for God or the sacred law of the Word. He has no respect for anyone else. He has shed blood violently, wickedly, at his own hands. And there are many who have seen it. We got him. Now you all know what must be done. We're going to have to put him out of his misery. Give him the chair. Yeah, that's right. You hear it screamed. Give him the chair. Yeah, give him the electric chair. We'll fry that fracker. See, sometimes we like to take individuals out of the game. Give them the chair. Fry them. Burn them. Drive the very soul of their consciousness out of their bodies by electrocuting them in the chair. My name's Saleem Siddiqui, and you're watching Hot Conflict, and we're talking about the chair. You see, sometimes being in the chair is not the best thing. Some chairs should be avoided, right? There are people who are thinking all different kinds of things about the mysteries and the light and the conspiracies and the concepts of who is who and what is what and who is in command of the different groups and the different organizations. And people have been playing a different game all over this earth, competing for chairs of kingdoms and royalties, crowns. And you see a strange situation, if you're actually paying attention and watching, that while part of the world is overthrowing their kings and queens and false leadership, another part of the world is celebrating the marriage of princes and princesses with commoners and laymen, like there's some status of royalty amongst the sons of Adam. Do all of us not come from the same place? Are all of us not in the same consciousness field? See, there has been this understanding that different people should have the chair, and that different people have authority, or different people have the right of command. Royal blood, blue blood, for example. And there's been these concepts on the earth, and people have continued to promote them. And we're talking about this concept of Adam, peace and blessing be upon him, the very first prophet that was created and formed by the Lord Most High. That in this realm of physicality, Adam has been made Khalifa. Adam has been made ruler, overseer. The right of command authority in the physical realm has been given to Adam. Adam has the crown and the throne and the chair, the right of command. And we on this earth are sons and daughters of Adam, but we've been talking about the concept of that being a consciousness field. And that the chair has something to do with consciousness. And now, there's of course different types of chairs. You know, as kids we play musical chairs, we listen to the music, and then when the music stops, we get into a chair. And we're talking about the consciousness field being a vibration, a frequency, a harmony, a sound, a rhythm, a pattern. Well, the chair is the embodiment of the consciousness of Adam, that Adam has command authority. And we are the sons and daughters of Adam, and we're seeking to be heirs of our Heavenly Father. Of course, Adam, we know in the beginning of the story, starts in the heavenly realms, and then falls to the surface of the earth, where we live now. And of course, those of you who studied the Series 7 with me, you know that there are many of us now who understand the concept of multiple levels of the skies, the heavens, or the samawat, the heavenly realms, or the realms of the skies, and then the inner realms of the inner earth. That within the earth there's also 7 levels of physical dimensionality, and many in the spiritual side of the East, the mystics of the East, the light of the East, the light of the rising sun, where the sun rises. The sun rises in the East and sets in the West. That's not a new revelation. It's a standard. The sun rises in the east, and people look to the light of the east, and there in the east, all the mystics talk about the inner realms, the inner worlds, that they are a true physical realm. They are a true spiritual and physical realm where physical beings inhabit. Is it possible that the garden of heaven is the inner realm of the earth, and that each earth has its own internal garden? And of course, within the inner world, there are different levels of spirituality and light and physical levels within the realms of the inner earth. 7 deep and 7 high. Is it possible that Adam, peace and blessings be upon him, went from being in the garden, the Jannah, the garden of the earth, protected and shielded from the exposure of the consciousness field of all that is, cocooned consciously in the garden of the inner earth, until he ate from the other tree. Until he ate from the tree that Iblis, Shaitan, told him, if you eat from this tree, you'll have knowledge of expandedness. You'll have knowledge of that which you do not know. You'll have awareness of that which is greater than everything. Possibly even the awareness of who you are. You will have the awareness of being an immortal, of the Khalidun. That the true nature of yourself is Khalidun. You see, Shaitan is tempting Adam with these things, and we know that Shaitan is a deceiver. Allah has warned Adam from the day of the court, before being in the garden, do not listen to him. Do not eat from the tree and do not follow his way. There are 2 separate paths, and you should not partake in that. And Adam makes a mistake. And he eats from the tree and his awareness changes. And then he asks the Lord for forgiveness. And he is given words. Allah gives Adam the words to speak to purify himself and remove his burden. You see, the concept in many of the so-called religions is that Adam and Eve made a mistake and were punished and then fell to the earthly realms or the lower realms or the dense realms of darkness and forgetfulness and the insaniya, the humanness of duality that we call here. The surface. And many times we talk about it being a fall because we're talking about spirituality or soul level or consciousness. But is it possible that we were talking about not a fall from the sky, but a removal from the realm of the inner earth just to the outside? From being cocooned on the inside, garden, Jannah, to the outside of the surface, with the sun and the moon and the cycles of duality and night and day, and hours and time and seasons and months, and the exposure to the physical realms and the gigantic expanding nature of the consciousness of the universe itself. And there, in that realm, Cain and Abel are born. So the fall is not a physical dropping, but it is a consciousness, awareness, a frequency, vibration. And is it possible that even though Adam was warned not to partake from that tree, and he asked Allah's forgiveness and was granted it, the fact that he did so causes the sons and daughters of Adam to now descend physically as sons and daughters, through the lessons of time, of the earthly realm, and every single soul or fracture or separated piece of the original consciousness of the one Adam is now descending, each in their own patterning way, to follow the journey of their father. Like all sons and daughters follow the guidance of their forefathers and founding fathers and their Salaf Saleh, or their pious predecessors, we seek, those of us who have a clear understanding, not to suggest that we are so much more wiser than those who came before us. No, we say the exact opposite, that we find it amazing that those who came before us in time, without all the collection of knowledge and information that we now have in our modern time, had such great words of wisdom, that they were at a superior consciousness level and understanding, that they before us were wiser than us. This is the understanding of the Muslims and their pious companions and the early generations. This is the understanding of true Christians and the noble disciples, or the Ansar, the helpers of Allah, and the earlier followers of Christ. This is the concept of those of the children of Israel and those who followed Moses and David and Solomon of the earlier generations. This is the concept of those who are actually on the ark with Noah. This is the concept of being closest to those who are closest to the vibration and frequency of light. To be more in tune with those. Even in modern times, this is the concepts for every true patriotic American, that we seek to go back to the original intent of the founding fathers, that they, in their understanding, had a more wise concept of what they intended than we do now. And those sometimes in the so-called liberal spin media fail to see the wisdom of the founding fathers, that there was what we would call in the Brotherhood, whether you are a Master Mason from the West or the Brotherhood from the East, the divine hand of providence. Because the divine hand of providence is on all things. It is a constant. Everything that occurred happened perfectly. Nothing happens except by the will of the Creator. And we follow the messengership of every messenger from Adam all the way down to the final messenger. And we say Adam had the highest level consciousness of being in the garden and remembering it and knowing where he's from. And he's telling his sons, Cain and Abel, listen, we're not from here. We come from original garden. And that is our journey back. And you must learn to decipher and understand and remember who you truly are. You are my sons. He tells them, you're my family. This is who we are. And perhaps he also tells them, whether they believe the old man or not, we are not alone. You might not have seen them. No one else can confirm them. But we are not alone. And you have to understand, from then till now, the debate continues. There are those of us who are declaring it openly. Of course, we are not alone. And we have never been alone. Now, in our modern time, there are those who say they understand the mysteries of the modern technology, the secret groups, the secret government organizations, the secret super spies and super soldiers and covert ops, men in black, dark hats. Yeah, you're watching Hot Conflict, and we give you all the strange and spooky stuff here. The concepts of a chair,